that my CHM had told me during my after my command task, वो एक लास्ट एड्रेस जो होता है ना एक CHM का, वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. मोस्ट ऑफ द कैंडिडेट्स जस्ट नेग्लेक्ट दैट थिंग, बट उनकी जो लाइंस होती हैं, आई स्टिल रिमेंबर कि हमारे धीरेन्द्र सिंह साहब थे, एंड ही वाज लाइक अवार्डेड विद सेना मेडल, एंड ही वाज फ्रॉम गढ़वाल राइफल्स. साहब ने पता क्या बोली थी हमारे कमांडर्स के बारे में, कि मतलब देखो, फौज में आए हो, एग्जाम देने आए हो, यहाँ पे तुम्हें इतनी फैसिलिटीज दी जा रही हैं, इतनी चीजें दी जा रही हैं. अगर तुम अभी से इतनी कमियां निकालोगे, अगर तुम रिकमेंड भी हो गए, तुम अफसर भी बन गए ना, तो आगे ऐसी चीजें नहीं मिल सकती हैं. हम जंगल में 7 7 दिन रहे, बहुत सारी चीजें देखी लाइफ में, एंड द मोटी सोच और टांग की मोच इंसान को कभी आगे नहीं बढ़ने देती है ना. दिस इज द लाइक वाज लाइक सिग्मा लाइक लाइन व्हाट ही सेड. एंड नॉट ओनली दिस वन, लाइक आज ने टोल्ड अस अबाउट कि एसएसबी भोपाल में सर ने वैसे बोला. तो पर्टिकुलरली ये जो सीएचएम सर जो होते हैं, या फिर एकेडमी में जो साप पार्टी हमें ट्रेन करती है, आई स्टिल रिमेंबर कि आज भी मैं क्लास वो बच्चों को बता रहा था रिगार्डिंग दिस की हमारे आईने में ड्रिल एमसीपी होते थे. अभी प्रियम तुम अभी भी ज्वाइन करोगे तो यू विल फाइंड हिम ओनली. ही इज कश्मीर सिंह साहब, है ना. ही इज मासा बेसिकली एसएम ऑफ ड्रिल इन आईने. एंड ही यूज टू टेल अस इवन इन द फर्स्ट क्लास ओनली, कि कभी भी कैडेट ऐसी गलती नहीं करना, या फिर कुछ ऐसा काम ना करना कि जिससे तुम्हारी पर्सनैलिटी या फिर परफॉर्मेंस के ऊपर दाग लगे. एंड एक चीज हमेशा याद रखना कि फौज में चोरी और छोरी को बहुत सीरियस लिया जाता है. तो लाइक बेसिकली एनी इंसिडेंट रिलेटेड टू थेफ्ट, और लाइक any incident of that misconduct with the female or lady cadets will take you to some, है ना. uh, these are the things that one should even inculcate in his personality also. Like Priyom, is there any incident particularly like this one, would you like to share?
Not really. In my SSB, I had this one candidate, one teammate in my own group during GT. He actually had ADHD, and he told me last night that, bro, I have ADHD. Please see if I get zone out. The zone out is like when everybody is talking, everybody is performing a task. He used to see somewhere else, and it was during our PGT. He had a bully in his hand and a rope in his hand, and I saw that the whole group is thinking about ideas moving forward, and he was looking there. And then I had to remind him, "Oh, what are you doing? Come here, join." Then he had to remind her, "Oh, I have to do this." Then again, we had to proceed. That was something funny. And also during my personal interview, the interviewer was asking me related to my running speed and such things. And suddenly, out of nowhere, he asked me, "Okay, how many oceans are there?" And I don't know out of what I had in my mind. I just remembered Saat, Samandar, Paar, and I said 7 oceans. And then he said, "Good, now name them." Then I named 5 oceans. Then I remembered, oh, there are only 5 oceans. Then he asked me, "What were you thinking?" I said, "I was still calculating I was still calculating my speed." And he laughed, and then we proceeded with the interview.
नाइस यार. दिस इज द थिंग, लाइक मेरी एसएसबी में भी ऐसा एक इंसिडेंट हुआ था, रनिंग स्पीड से रिलेटेड, बट वो सेकंड वाली में हुआ था. एंड इट डिडंट वर्क वेल, एंड आई गॉट कॉन्फिडेंस आउट बेसिकली. बट लेट मी टेल द इंसिडेंट. इट वाज लाइक इन दैट मैनर, ही वाज आस्किंग मी कि व्हाट इज योर रनिंग स्पीड. I told him, sir, it's 8:30 minutes, like 8.5 minutes of 1600 meters. So he asked me that, is it good or bad? I told him, sir, good from school level, but bad from college level. So he told me that you are a student who is about to get into college. So what do you want to say? That you have a very bad running speed? No, sir, not like that, but I didn't carry it out well. And there are a number of scenarios in which we make mistake. But like these are the like common factors which are there, or questions asked to a candidate during SSB. Like let's come to the interview experience of Anjaney, and we'll later come to you also, Priyom, particularly interview and conference experience. And Ajane, I would like to ask you about the like how is it different from a previously recommended candidate, the conference and interview, and how is it like for the candidate who is there as a repeater, like as you were there in second attempt and then in your third attempt also respectively. So start, Ajane.
So the first interview which I gave, it was to Deputy President of 32 SSB. And so the interview was very formal, and around 70% interview was upon my PIQ. And so a few questions was asked upon like what is currently happening, like Israel, Middle East, and other things, and few questions from the Indian defense procurements and other things. And so my interview that time also was around 30 minutes. And so that time I was like confident because I answered all the questions and the interview was going in a good pace. And so the first conference which I appeared, it was a bit nervous for me. But the second time when I went for the interview, so the interview was very, I would say, not that which I experienced previous times. So it was the first question was ki, why have you came here? You have got recommended. And so then it was the I said because it was the fear of merit. And so for the first 5 6 minutes we were counting the number of recommendations made by different boards. So sir, he was asking, you have the data upon recommendations? I said yes sir. around 701 boys have been recommended for NDA. And sir, I said around 300 boys were recommended from Air Force boats. And sir, I was from Jalandhar, so 89 recommendations from Jalandhar, 85 from Prayagraj. And so then we were just adding it so that we could reach the conclusion about how many recommendations were made. And so few questions, like initially he didn't know that I was PR. It was the first CIQ which he asked upon, like he tell me about your examinations which you gave and what were the results. So after that, so he got to know that I was PR. So that he we had good conversation initially, but after that it was bit into Hindi and informal. And sir, at the time there was a situation where I was just answering in Hindi, and sir, in between he was raised and he said, you are I am the interviewer here. You have to be speaking in English only, and without my permission you can't come into Hindi. You are here as an interviewee. Like you are, he made sure that what he wanted to say, like कि मैं पढ़ा हूँ in that case कि you are here just for the job and
Wait,
I am the.
Anjaney. Wait, Anjaney. We'll continue from that. Let me share my experience of academy related to this. मैंने academy में report किया and a senior from Cheetah Squadron came, है ना? And he asked me कहाँ से है, क्या नाम है, कैसे है, कौन सी squad मिली, like कौन सा तुम्हारा rank क्या था, yeah, basic thing out there. And I was answering it, he was asking it to me in Hindi only, and I was answering it to him in Hindi only because sir का क्या था कि sir was like looking very young and लग ही नहीं रहा था कि एक senior cadet and all. So last May he told me, Bhagat, you are answering, you are speaking in Hindi to a senior. Like these are the sort of things which happen out there in Fauj. Ki senior will abuse you, you will use n number of words out there. Senior का जो तुम्हें way of approach करने का तरीका है ना, that would be informal, formal, let it be, whatever it is. But you have to maintain your like set of etiquettes out there. So this is what the interviewing officer tried to mention as per my senior out there of Cheetah Squad. Start Anjani again.
And these were the experience of the interview. And sir, in between, sir, he asked which regiment you want to join. So earlier in ND, I said that sir, I will be opting for special forces. But sir, the interview this time was for TS. So sir, at that time, sir, out of nowhere, sir, in my mind, sir, it slipped out that I want to join Corps of Engineers. Sir, because my father is also from Corps of Engineers, Bengal Sappers. So sir, he said, ki, Acha, Corps of Engineers, nice. And so he asked about which branch I would like, Bombay Sappers, Bengal Sappers, or Madras Sappers. So, sir, initially I mentioned about these branches, and then I told that I will be joining into Bengal Sappers. So, sir, then he said, why not like Bombay Sappers? And what do you think about Madras Sappers? So the question was this, and I said, sir, in the current times, so the athletes come from Bombay Sappers and Bengal Sappers, and Madras Sappers has also been into the army, but it has for quite time it has been inactive, or no such achievements are made from there. And he was like, ki, nahi, Madras regiment is the oldest one, and Britishers had created it around 1608, and they have used to get that force into India, and it has the rich history. And I was like, nahi, sir, Bombay Sappers badhiya hai. But later on, I said, yes, sir, you are right. Madras Sappers has also a good history, and most of the athletes come from the Madras Sappers only. And sir, I was like, the interview was good. And the next day, when I looked at him in the conference, so he was wearing the this Madras, and I thought that it is over. So he was from Madras Sappers only, and I said that Madras Sappers is not good, and Bengal and Bombay Sappers are good, better than that. And he was also laughing at that time in the conference, but the results were good.
बेसिकली यार इंटरव्यू ऑफिसर ने तो उसे बदला नहीं लिया एंड दैट वाज द थिंग नहीं तो भाई स्कॉन में तो मतलब स्टिल रिमेंबर की एकेडमी में इंटर स्कॉन राइवलरी चल रही है एंड वहां पे तो फिर भी साहब की रेजिमेंट की बात आ गई थी एंड दिस इज अ थिंग दैट वी हैव टू माइंड और कैरी आउट कि कभी भी ऐसे कंपैरिजन नहीं करना बट यस दिस इज द वे यू हैव टू कैरी आउट द थिंग्स इफ यू हैव मेड सच स्टेटमेंट और लाइक as he said that he carried upon that yes sir Madras has also the achievements and athletes and all बेसिकली यार जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया एकेडमी से एंड फौज से ये देखो हर एक स्क्वान से अगर मैं कंपेयर करूँ या फिर रेजिमेंट से बोलूँ तो जो रेजिमेंट्स जैसे पर्टिकुलरली लेट मी नेम तुम इन्फैंट्रीज को देख रहे हो तो इनका क्या है कि अपना लाइक बैटल ऑनर्स एंड डिफरेंट ट्रेडिशन लाइक सेंचुरीज का ट्रेडिशन है of different battlefields, different battle honors, different medals, key चक्र and short चक्र and number of things. But जिन रेजिमेंट्स या यूनिट्स में गैलेंट्री अवार्ड्स कम है उनके स्पोर्ट्स अचीवमेंट बहुत तगड़े हैं जैसे तुम एसी का देखो बेसिकली तुम लेट कम टू इंजीनियर्स ऑल्सो यू ऑब्जर्व लाइक सिग्निफिकेंट स्पोर्ट्स अचीवमेंट बेसिकली अकेडमी में क्या होता है अगर किसी स्क्वान का ड्रिल तगड़ा है तो इट विल लाइक चीता स्क्वान इन एनडीए एंड लाइक डेयर डेविल इन आयरन है ना तो इनका ड्रिल भाई बहुत तगड़ा है ड्रिल कौन जीतेगा तो कौन जीतेगा चीता एंड डेयर डेविल पर्टिकुलरली है ना चार्ली सॉरी हाँ चीता चार्ली जो भी है चीता एट आईने, चीता एंड डेविल आर एट आईने, चार्ली एट सॉरी इंडी। बेसिकली सी है ना, तो वो मेन फैक्टर है। एंड दैट्स द थिंग, बिकॉज ड्रिल जो है एक ट्रेडिशन है, बट देयर वाज अ ईगल स्पॉन, तो उनका क्या था, ड्रिल ट्रेडिशन नहीं था। उनका रहता था भाई कि यू आर एंटरिंग द फास्टेस्ट स्पॉन, ऐसे लिखा हुआ रहता था, व्हेन यू आर एंटरिंग द ईगल बेसिकली, है ना। जो फिफ्थ कौन थी आने की, बिकॉज दे वर द टॉपर्स ऑफ द एंड दे हैड द रेप्लिका ऑफ क्रॉस कंट्री। लाइक रेप्लिका इज लाइक यू आर विनिंग द क्रॉस कंट्री कंसिक्यूटिवली 3 टाइम्स, हैट्रिक मारना बेसिकली। तो तुम समझ सकते हो क्रॉस कंट्री जो 12 किलोमीटर की होती है, वो भी आने में लाइक स्लोप डाउन स्लोप, ये कितनी ये चीज हो सकती है। एंड उसको उन्होंने लगातार 3 बार जीता, तो वो एक रेप्लिका थिंग थी। तो इससे ये पता चलता है ना कि लाइक अगर किसी यूनिट का, किसी रेजिमेंट का अगर गैलेंट्री में इतना कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन नहीं है, तो उनका किसी और फील्ड में कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन है। बट सबने अपने फील्ड में एक बेंचमार्क सेट कर रखा है, एंड दिस थिंग गोज आउट इन अकेडमी ऑल्सो। दिस इज व्हाट वी कुड लर्न इन लाइफ ऑल्सो, कि अगर हम इस फील्ड में उतना अच्छा नहीं कर रहे, तो उस फील्ड में हमें एक अच्छा करना ही हो। वी ऑलवेज हैव टू लाइक फाइंड द लीडर इन अस, है ना। प्रियम, व्हाट वुड यू लाइक टू शेयर अबाउट दीस थिंग्स, योर इंटरव्यू एंड कॉन्फ्रेंस एक्सपीरियंस?
Yes, sir. So my interview lasted for around 1 hour and 10 to 15 minutes. And it began, I wore my specs in my interview, so it began with my specs. He asked me what was my power, and he asked me what was myopia, what was focal distance, its formula. It lasted for about 5 to 6 minutes, asking only about specs. He was repeating the same question: what was concave lens? Why was it used? If I used to say that concave lens is used for short-sightedness, then he used to ask me what is used for short-sightedness. Again, I have to answer that concave lens. That's how it was going. And after that, he moved towards my family, friends, my education. It was mostly the PIQ part. Apart from the PIQ, he also asked me that is there any international event which is affecting my life right now? In that question, I was stuck for some time. I was not actually stuck. I gave a thought. Is there any event? Then I took a 2 minute pause and I told him that no, sir, no such event is doing anything in my life. And he was like, Acha, so the Russia-Ukraine war, many Indian students have died, couldn't return. What is your opinion? Are you not concerned about them? The Israel-Palestine war, we have also seen that there are also many students, Indian students stuck over there. Are you not concerned? Then I replied to him that in our own country, Manipur is burning, and so few people are concerned. I'm least concerned about. Although I'm concerned about the Russia-Ukraine and the Israel-Palestine war people, but I'm more concerned towards my own country, own state, where no particular action is taken. Then he moved the question towards that issue, the Manipur issue. I told him about some details. My friend was also from Manipur, so he asked about something related to that. Also, he asked me about my position at school. I was the house captain, so he asked me what all responsibilities I had and what was my greatest challenge. That's it. And he also asked me about my backup plan if I didn't do. I also mentioned about animation and reading books in my hobby section. So he asked me, he did a little bit more about he also, the interviewing officer, he was the president of the board. So he also knew a few things about the animation part. So he asked me which all softwares I use and what kind of animations have I made till yet. Did I publish them in any higher level? That's it. And my conference lasted for about 2.5 minutes, so it was very short. They asked me about my stay and all, and asked me how did I like our staff, the food and all. That's it.
बेसिकली कॉन्फ्रेंस में मामला क्लियर था भाई। दिस इज व्हाट वी यूज्ड टू से व्हेन वी वर रिपीटर्स। तो लाइक दिस इज द थिंग दैट वी हैव टू कैरी आउट। एंड कमिंग टू लाइक दिस वन, की अब एक ये भी बात करते हैं कि लाइक पर्टिकुलरली एज आई हैड मेंशन, कि आंजने तुमने ऑफलाइन के बाद ऑनलाइन कोचिंग ली, एंड प्रियोम तुमने ऑनलाइन पहले ली एंड देन यू आल्सो वेंट फॉर ऑफलाइन कोचिंग। सो हाउ वुड यू लाइक टू डिस्क्राइब दिस थिंग, कि हाउ डज दिस प्रोसेस हेल्प, एंड कैसे, हाउ आई एज अ मेंटर और लाइक एनीवन हु इज टेकिंग द ऑनलाइन कोचिंग फ्रॉम एनी पर्टिकुलर सोर्स, तो ये दोनों चीजें डिफरेंट कैसे हैं एंड दोनों चीजें हेल्पफुल कैसे हैं? आई वुड लाइक टू लाइक स्टार्ट फ्रॉम प्रियोम, कि तुम एक बार अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से ये बताओ कि ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन बेसिकली दोनों में से बेनिफिशियल फैक्टर्स क्या क्या हैं, एंड तुम्हें कैसे दोनों चीजों ने हेल्प किया, एंड हाउ अ एस्पिरेंट हु इज अ बिगनर और अ रिपीटर हु हैज गॉन फॉर ऑफलाइन कैन गो आउट फॉर द प्रोसेस और दीज थिंग्स।
According to me, taking online first and offline next is the best way possible out here because once we go through online, we make stories, we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and our online mentors like Dhruv sir, he reviews our stories, we learn from them. When we go to offline coaching, we can execute that what we have learned from here. We can execute the learnings, and there we appear for mock interviews, mock side tests. There we get to know that where do I stand, and we actually see the results over there. Then this thing really helped me, this online coaching. first and the offline next. And speaking of the beneficial points, online I think is best for the psych and interview part. But other than that, for GTO task, offline coaching is best. We at offline coaching actually we need this environment around us. At offline coaching we have people who speak about NDA, who speak about SSBs, their previous attempts, their upcoming attempts. 24 hours we are surrounded by people who have the same goal, so we get to discuss about things. And at offline coaching, uh, they daily practice, they make us practice the GDs and lecture aids daily. Even if one doesn't know how to speak in a GD, as for me, I didn't know how to speak in a GD. I used to get stuck in GDs. There, because of consistent efforts, daily practices, I was able to speak. So in that manner, offline coaching helped me. But in psych and interview part, I think online coaching is best. First online and then offline is like the best combo.
Basically, as per Priyom's review and a review from the recommended candidate, I would like to say कि basically अगर एक रिपीटर्स के परस्पेक्टिव से अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि मतलब अगर तुम्हारा साइड पार्ट और इंटरव्यू पार्ट लैक कर रहा है तो यू कैन ऑप्ट फॉर द ऑनलाइन कोचिंग्स एंड अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि जीटीओ पार्ट लैक कर रहा है तो यू मस्ट गो फॉर ऑफलाइन बिकॉज यार ऑब्वियसली इंटरव्यू में यू आर देयर वन टू वन कॉन्वर्सेशन इज आउट देयर साइकोलॉजी विच इज टोटली इन योर हैंड तुम्हारी प्रैक्टिस पे डिपेंड करता है ना कि तुमने कैसे अपने खुद को उतना प्रैक्टिस आउट किया कितना पुट इन मारा है उसमें जैसे हम बोलते हैं तो इस चीज को कैसे जैसे तो वो चीज क्या है कि तुम ऑनलाइन भी प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो उसका प्रॉपर रिव्यू अब तो मान लो जैसे यार आंजने एंड प्रियम यू आर देयर तो कल तक तुम भी एस्पिरेंट थे आज तुम रिकमेंड हो जाओगे तुमसे भी लोग रिव्यू कराने लगेंगे एंड व्हेन आई एम टीचिंग आउट तो मेरा भी एक अच्छा खासा सेट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस है जा रहे तो इस तरीके से साइकोलॉजी और इंटरव्यू का प्रॉपर रिव्यू एंड प्रैक्टिस ये चीजें होनी चाहिए एंड फॉर जीटीओ देर इज एक्सपोजर व्हाट वी कॉल इज टोटली नीडेड बिकॉज ग्रुप होता है जीटीओ में वहां पे तुम पीजीटी में कोऑर्डिनेट करते हो तुम लेक्चरेट करते हो एंड बाकी चीजें करते हो तो एज पर फ्रीडम से दिस इज द थिंग ऑफ दैट isn't it? So let's come up to Anjane. As you went to AFPA and then you joined the online courses in which I was teaching as a mentor, and then you were also in the course in which Priyom was there. Kabhi kabhi, yeah, the Priyom, you remember him? He used to come in the sessions as I would like to set him as a benchmark out there. क्योंकि तुम लोग उस समय fresher and सीख रहे थे, and Anjane had prepared his blank story. He was good at making stories, but he was slightly like he had to improve in the particularly narration and GD part. तो उसके लिए आंजनी बेसिकली हाउ एज आई एज अ मेंटर हेल्प यू एंड बेसिकली व्हाट आर योर रिव्यूज अपॉन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस ब्रीफ इट
So initially I took an offline coaching, and then so after that gave SSB and then shifted to online coaching. So the thing which I learned in offline coaching was that the best part is the peer learning. Like you learn from other people, and at the same time you get to know about different prospects of life and different things which are available or the career options at that time which are available. So like I would like to mention one of my peers, like Pradeep Singh. He's from India on 53 course, Alpha Squadron, and so this guy has been a benchmark for me because he has cleared like ND also. He has got 570 marks in NEET examination as well, and in the JEE mains he has got some 8,000 rank. And so his interview is available on Fauji show. And so this guy I had found, that's why he's also from Bihar. And so I know that, matlab, like a cousin only. And so this guy has been a benchmark. And so I've been learning from him. And so what I found is that initially, sir, as a fresher, when you go into an offline coaching, so you gain exposure and you feel like what to do in a group and how to behave in a group and what is the etiquettes of an aspirant that when he or she goes for SSB. And so once you are there and once you give an SSB, so you get to know about your weaknesses. And for so that weaknesses, it's better to have that online coaching because most of the people face difficulty in psych and interview part only. And so for that, I believe, sir, again repeating that offline coaching is not a good option. And so, like in my case, I knew that I had good GTO part, and so interview part was also good. I would say not bad, but okay, okay. And so the problem that lied was in my psychology. And so I was not able to speak into the group, or I was not able to speak confidently in a group of people and to express myself. So for that, I took the mentorship of yours, and so there I got to know ki when you give your narration, so you don't have to speak the whole story as it is. So you have to just be crisp, and you have to make sure that the 2-3 actions are enough when you give narration, and your narration should be around 45 seconds, and it must be crisp. And in that 45 seconds, you have to address the whole group. And the things which I did last time was I was just looking at one person, and in between I had eye contact with the SSS. So this is not good in PPT as well. And so these were things which I learned. And at the same time, so story writing was also mine was not very much good. So I took guidance from you, your platform, Cult and TJS. And so there I learned about what should be there in the story and what should be the micro actions in that. And so from there I improved day by day. And so the results were good.
nice yeah Nice यार Anjaney and Priyom. It was like a very good experience of mine talking to you and हमने बहुत दिन बाद ऐसे बात भी की यार basically. ऐसे तो like chats के through तो बातें होती रहती हैं, but it was like कि one to one बहुत दिनों बाद हम ऐसे मिले. बहुत दिन हो गया मतलब because you were busy in your SSB medicals and all, and this was a very nice experience and a nice information what you shared. Last में three things that you would like to just three things briefly जो तुम बताना चाहोगे last message to aspirants जो कि सबको follow करनी चाहिए. Priyom, just three lines that every aspirant needs to follow to clear SSB.
Be confident. Listen to Dhruv Bhaiya
अरे
and yeah, listen to Dhruv Bhaiya and believe in yourself. You will do great.
एग्जैक्टली बेसिकली सेकंड वन तो ठीक है लाइक भाई का प्यार है बट फर्स्ट वन इज व्हाट आई ऑलवेज से बी कॉन्फिडेंट एंड लाइक बिलीव इन योर कैरेक्टर एंड पर्सनालिटी विच इज देयर तुम जो हो उस पर भरोसा करो एंड उस पर काम करो बेसिकली इजंट इट आंजने इट्स अप टू यू थ्री थिंग्स
So first thing is be a good listener before being a good speaker, and everything which you have to do has always been briefed by the assessors, like what you have to do and how you have to do. So the assessors briefing is very much good, and so they have all the things they tell in this briefing. Is sometimes it is different, like what I have got to know about the first SSB and second SSB. So there was a slight thing which was different in briefing. So first thing is be a good listener and listen to the briefings, and this second thing is work upon your personality development. And so for that you have to bring up new hobbies and learn new sports and indulge in group activities. And so what I mean from personality development is you have to keep yourself up to date and day by day. So when you talk to different people of different professions, you got to know about what is the world and what is it. And so the third is believe in the process and don't switch between teachers. Once you took one, just go with it, no matter what the results
एग्जैक्टली
are.
एग्जैक्टली ऑलवेज फॉलो द बेस्ट एलिमेंट्स व्हाट यू हैव लर्न लाइक मैंने भी एक ऑनलाइन कोर्स लिया था एंड जैसे प्रियम तुम्हें याद है आशीष सर ने भी बताया था कि उन्होंने भी एक ऑनलाइन कोर्स लिया देन ही आल्सो वेंट फॉर ऑफलाइन सिमिलरली मैंने भी भाकुनी सर का लिया था कोर्स एंड देन आई वेंट टू आपका आल्सो तो कभी भी ये मत फोकस करो कि ये वीक पॉइंट है ये अलग चीज है ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन द बेस्ट एलिमेंट्स व्हाट यू हैव बीन टॉट बाय द एसेसर एंड जैसे आंजने ने बताई रिपीटर्स का जो एक एंथम होना चाहिए एक प्रॉपर रूल होना चाहिए कि ऑलवेज बिलीव इन द प्रोसेस नेवर ब्लेम द प्रोसेस एंड व्हाट आई ऑलवेज से कि बी अ गुड लिसनर इसको थोड़ा सा और मैं डिस्क्राइब करूंगा इन दिस मैनर कि तुम एसएसबी में जीडी में अगर कोई भी पॉइंट रख रहे हो बी इट पीपीडीटी या फिर जीपीई की हो या फिर किसी भी सेट ऑफ उसमें हो कभी भी पहले इंस्ट्रक्शंस को सुनो उसके बाद अपने फेलो कैंडिडेट्स के पॉइंट्स को सुनो तब उसको काउंटर करो एंड दिस शुड हैपन इन लाइक फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकंड्स यू हैव टू बी सच मेंटली एकाइल पर्सन सो दैट अगर तुम किसी के पॉइंट को काउंटर भी करो या फिर किसी के साथ अपने पॉइंट्स को जोड़ो भी तो इट हैज टू बी दैट मच जस्टिफिकेबल एंड रीजनेबल इजंट इट हाँ प्रियम यू आर रेजिंग अ हैंड व्हाट डू यू वांट टू शेयर
I wanted to add one thing, just a tip to the candidates that if you ever make a mistake, just if you get a chance in your conference, admit it. I've seen in my SSB itself, there was a guy, he was not from our group, he was from some other group. The whole group was abusing him after his GTO experience. Like he was dominating the game very much. So it was wrong. And after the GTO, he realized that it was wrong. He talked to me. He talked to me. He said that I this thing and everybody is abusing me now. Just see. I said, let's hope for the best. Just I told him that just apologize if you get a chance. Apologize in your conference. Then in his conference, he was asked that rate your performance. At that moment, he told him that my GTO was this thing. I dominated this thing. I dominated my GD, and the president and the GTO were looking at each other when he said this thing. He said he told me this thing later that the president and the GTO were looking at each other when he mentioned that he was dominating in GTO. And then the president asked him that what should have you done? At that moment, he told him the right thing that I should not have dominated, and I should have listened to others' opinions as well while putting mine. That's also a useful
you
tip,
got
I believe.
recommended
Yes, he got recommended.
that's the thing I self
Yes, he was.
introspection
Yeah. At that moment also, if you realize and if you know that you did something wrong and admit it, then also you can get recommended.
दैट्स द पावर ऑफ सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन दैट जो मैंने सेशन के शुरू में ही बोला है ना माय फर्स्ट पॉइंट सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन जो मैंने किया यार बेसिकली ना चार अटेम्प्ट्स में अपने तो इट वाज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ द सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन ओनली एंड एज प्रीवियम सेड so this is like a clear message and a very good session by two candidates like Priyom who is recommended for NDA 154 and for TS as well as NDA 154 so मुझे नहीं लगता कि इससे ज्यादा एडवाइस या फिर कोई प्रॉपर मैसेज या कोई प्रॉपर वीडियो हो सकती है कैंडिडेट्स के लिए अपने लाइक डिफेंस एस्पिरेंट के करियर को एक लाइक एंड तक पहुंचाने के एज एन ऑफिसर के फॉर्म में है ना सो थैंक यू यार आंजने